Hey, how's it going, everyone? My name is Hansley Jones, business and lifestyle coach. Inspire one, inspire many. Applied knowledge is the key to success, happiness, and wealth. Welcome to the HNH Success Academy podcast for business tips, inspiration, and to be a better you. Today's episode on HNH Success Academy is all about every overachiever was once an underachiever, and this is also linked to your story. So, what does this mean? For every successful individual, no matter what field it is or what industry, whether it's cars, whether it's sports, whether it's fashion, they have failed more times than the person who didn't get started. They have failed and underachieved more times than the person who kind of wants to do it. Oh yeah, I kind of want to be a football player. Every football player, for example, Ronaldinho, who plays for Brazil and has been for multiple teams. For me, he's one of the best football players that ever step on the pitch. With his skills, with his shots, with his tackles, everything. For me, he's the all-round player in football, right? What he can do with the ball is phenomenal. But the amount of hours he had to put in to be that skillful, even from such a young age, he must have failed, but you never know because he spent so much time on his craft. Steve Jobs, before he came, the founder of Apple, he done many small projects before that. He actually got fired from Apple, from his from his obviously board of directors that he created, and he then went on to create Pixar, which is a huge production. He then went and Apple obviously then wanted him back. Michael Jordan, he's well known for being cut from his high school team back in the day, and then he came back with a tenacious and relentless mindset possible that has stuck with him till this day. There's no one on the court better than him in his era when he steps on that court. If you was better than him or perceived, he would outwork you. No matter how good he got, he would still outwork you. For me, Michael Jordan is someone who was confident. And his confidence can be seen for arrogance. And you know what? There was time he was arrogant. There's been times in live NBA games, he's at the free throw line with his eye closed. Splash! He's scoring buckets at the free throw line with his eyes closed. He's done that 1,000 times with his eyes closed. And when he's in the crowd of that 40 to 50,000 people, cameras everywhere, eyes closed, splash, no one can tell him nothing. That's someone who's highly confident, that knows his craft, and you can't beat him. He won't be beat. That's what we mean by an underachiever who was once an overachiever. He felt the pain of not making his high school basketball team. That cut him deep. But what he done, he turned it around, he put in the hours, and he made it happen. That's what it is, and it all comes from their story. Because more times than likely, 9 times out of 10, they're coming from a painful background. Their parents may not have been around. Maybe the mum or dad might have been alcoholic, taking drugs, just being neglected, doing whatever they want. And the only way out for them is sports. And they're not ever supported by their parents. There's no one around. The high school coach or, the educational system has to get involved for them to pursue what they want to pursue. That's their story. That's how they move forward. They had other influences outside of the family, outside of the main support network. Like I said, that comes from education. That might be coming from a social club, from a youth club, right? That's taking them underneath their wing, and they showed them the ropes. And over time, they're making progress, and they're still not getting support from their family, just because their family doesn't know any different. Their family doesn't understand. All they know is sometimes it's just that I just gotta get this alcohol, or I just gotta do these drugs. Or even set aside from that, they might have like a minimal wage job where they have to work overtime to put food on the table. And sometimes to do these extra curriculum activities at school, it requires money. To buy a pair of trainers or sneakers for a child that's a size 10 foot, you're looking at like minimum $50 to $80 for an okay pair. We're not talking about a decent pair, we're talking about an okay pair. And that might be strenuous on the finances because that parent, that mom or dad or aunt or carer or guardian has to make a decision. Are we gonna buy these £50 to £80 training sneakers that he needs for basketball to pursue his career, or are we gonna spend that on the week shopping? That's what it comes down to. The pain they had to go through, the things they had to sneak out, and sometimes, they may have to steal. They may have to sell drugs on their own sometimes to get what they need to get. Or they might have donations from someone. They might not want the donations, but they might have to take them just to pursue where they need to go. The power of your story. Your story is absolutely powerful. And when it comes to your story, these are the main things I like to speak about and what should be in your story when you're attracting people, or even when you're doing marketing, whether it's for yourself, whether it's for a company. Every story has elements that they stick to. And these are the elements. Obviously, you want to introduce yourself. What you're currently doing. I didn't speak about your background. And within that background, you talk about your pain, you talk about your childhood, you talk about what you went through, right? And then you talk about your failures. And once you talk about your failures, you speak about the positive influence that you had. And then with those positive influence, you talk about the solution. And then once you talk about the solution, you have the call of action. And then after the call, just before the call of action, the solution, you go back to the pain so they can understand why you do what you do, or why you're so hungry with the call of action. So every underachiever wants an overachiever, and to put that together with a story, introduce yourself, speak about your pain in your childhood, talk about how you overcame that pain in your childhood and a solution, and then you go into what you're currently doing, and then call to action. Call to action. Just before the call to action, like I said before, you reinforce the pain aspect, go to call to action. So, hope that I understand the concept of every underachiever was once an overachiever. Hope that helped. Any more advice, I kind of had to build a story, and I might actually do an episode where I just really focus on story, but just a brief outline to what the story should be like regarding the situation here, regarding this aspect here. So with that being said, guys, have a great day on purpose, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Take care.